And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Rob Provencher here with our goal-setting boot camp, Follow Your Dreams for Photographers. And I am recording this in case you are wanting to watch it again. And that noise in the background is my good friend Alicia Birch, all the way from Australia. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. How you going?
And if you logged in early, you heard us ranting on and talking about bears and deer and, snakes.
Brown snakes.
Brown snakes and weather. So anyway, so I'm going to get right into this and dig deep. I told Alicia before we started I was a little bit nervous because, and the reason why was because I never really had done a goal-setting boot camp before via webinar. I've done many in person. So, but I'm over it, okay? I'm doing it. I'm committed. Grab a pen and a notepad. I want you guys to make a lot of notes. So if you haven't got a pen, holler out to your significant other, get up and go over to your desk or reach down into your drawer, pull it open and grab a pen and a notepad. I want you guys to make notes. I just got to make sure. See, I won't be able to really track the questions. So if you have questions, I may not get to them right away, okay? So I do apologize because I'm kind of losing that control panel because I got two things going on at the same time. So I've called this boot camp presentation, Follow Your Dreams. And I'm going to get asked the question, who is this guy and why should you listen to him? A lot of you people know me. A lot of people don't know me. My name is Rob Provencher. I co-founded No BS Photo Success and Wizard of Light. I run a professional photography studio. I'm married. I have a 19-year-old daughter. Life is good. Life is fantastic. I feel great. I'm 56 years old, and I'm a big believer in goals. I'm a big believer in goals, and my mantra for life is be the best you can be. So that's basically what I'm all about. Alicia Birch, that's her in the bottom. That's her selfie that she shot the other night, not for this particular presentation. She just happened to have posted it on Facebook, and I went and grabbed it. So she is here to kind of like help me along, maybe, talk a little bit, not sure. I'll explain a little more her role towards the end. But that may kind of come out of the presentation. So I've given her total permission to chime in and butt in whenever she feels like, and more specifically towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to get Alicia to say a few more words. So when you talk about follow your dreams, I've broken it up into the three words, follow your dreams. And when you look at the word follow, you have two choices. There's either going to be yours or someone else's. There ain't no other options. Okay, this is important to understand. Most people follow somebody else's agenda. They're not true to themselves. I'm going to talk about that throughout this presentation. When you talk about it's very personal. Okay, it's a very personal adventure you're on. It takes discipline, and I believe that is one of the core reasons why most people fail miserably at this adventure. It's where fears live. Fears get stirred up and tackled and brought to life, and where you get challenged the most. But you'll get the most growth out of those fears and out of being true to yourself. Follow your dreams. So when you talk about dreams, it's your own. It's very personal. It's not somebody else's, and it's where imagination is. Now, Einstein, everybody knows Einstein. One of his most famous quotes was that the greatest force in the entire universe is imagination, and I believe that to be true. So in the goal-setting bootcamp and strategies that I'm going to bring to you guys, I'm going to talk about imagination quite a bit. I'm going to give you some actual strategies, some specific strategies that you can use. So it's an adventure. So when you talk about your dreams, using your imagination, tackling your fears, getting very clear on where you want to go, it's an adventure. And it's where you follow your bliss, as Joseph Campbell would say. Follow your bliss. The call to adventure, the call for the hero, and it's where courage comes to life and plays a big role. So this is important stuff to understand. So follow your dreams. Why goals? Now, I love the movie Aladdin. You remember it came out in the early 90s, and there was that scene in Aladdin where Aladdin found the lantern, and it kind of like the genie came out and he gave him 3 wishes. I'm going to talk about this in a minute, a little more in detail, and a big part of why I believe we ought to have goals, and why goals are so important is because I really believe that we have the ability to pretty much pursue whatever it is we wish to pursue if we're true to ourselves, if we're true to our own path. So it's very important to discover that and get on it and have a whole lot of fun. Because I'll tell you, in the long run, it is a whole lot of fun. Scary as hell at first, but that's just part of the journey. If it wasn't scary as hell, you're not. I don't think you're on the right path. So there's got to be a lot of doubts and a lot of fears and a lot of anxieties. Without it, your goals are not compelling enough. Your vision is not compelling enough, and you're not pushing yourself hard enough to challenge yourself so that you can get in touch with and break beyond the barriers that are holding you back. Okay? I mentioned that my mantra in life is to be the best I can be. Okay? So that's why goals are important, so that you can be the best you can be, because I don't know of any other way that you can be the best you can be unless you have goals. And a lot of people tell me, or some people tell me, well, I don't do goals. And I look at their life and I go, well, wait a minute. You've accomplished this, this, and this. Those must have been a goal at some point in time. And once they think about it, they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. They are goals. So what I've done is taken actual strategies. I've done a lot of workshops in my day. I've taken a lot of training. I've hired coaches many times, both online and in person and in group coaching. So I'm a big believer in that. I've invested a lot of time and money. So I know it works. I've personally experienced it. Every person is 2 people. What you are today and what you can be tomorrow. Sadly, the average person only discovers a fraction of his or her true potential. So let me get to the next slide here. So there's you in the middle. There's the self-imposed limits that we all have, and there's the real limits that are way beyond the self-imposed limits. And when you look at the self-imposed limits, a lot of them are caused by social pressure. Family, friends, peers, people we work with, matters not. It's from people that are outside ourselves and that are close to us. The limits that are brought from them are put upon us, and that's where they come from. So we have to bust through that. Fears live in this little box here that I've created, and you'll notice the box is dotted. That means it's penetrable. It's where life is safe when you're living in that little box that we've created, the box of our self-imposed limits. It's where things are known, things are familiar. That's why they feel safe. And we're, sadly, we get to be passive. We don't, we're not called upon to be the best that we can be. So we kind of can get a little bit lazy, a little bit apathetic. So when you look at beyond the box, that's the realm of possibilities. And that's where the unknown is. So things get a little bit scary. That's where you have no limits, absolutely no limits. And that's where imagination plays a very, very key role. How to break free. You need direction and you need a system. Okay, I'm going to give you guys that tonight. I'm going to give you some forms. You can download them. And I'm going to give you some ideas and strategies for creating a systematic approach so that you can take advantage of using goals in your life. Short-term, long-term, super long-term. So you need support as well. So I know we've got a couple people here that are part of our coaching program. And there are people who are with us tonight who are not part of the coaching program as well. Part of being coached is having that support system available as well. And I'm going to give you some ideas and some strategies how you can take advantage of that or do it on your own. There's some pretty important things that you need to be aware of, and I'll get into that in a second. Now, I talked about Aladdin. Remember I brought up Aladdin a minute ago? I remember that scene in that movie. When I watched that scene, it just like resonated with me so much. It was Robin Williams. Sadly, he was such a good actor, and he was so funny. He played the Aladdin in the movie, and there was 3 wishes. You can have anything you want, but there was 3 conditions, and these are really, really important to understand. Before I get into the actual strategies, I want you guys to understand this. You guys can still hear me okay, right? Can you hear me loud and clear, Alicia?
Yep, I've got you, Rob. I'm just muting myself when
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not speaking.
That would be so embarrassing, you know, if I accidentally muted myself and nobody told me. Then I'd have to start over again. There's 3 conditions. You can have anything you want, or there's 3 wishes. You can have 3 wishes. You can't kill anyone. You can't make someone fall in love. And you can't wish for more wishes. This is epically important, and I'll tell you why. I've come up with my own translation. You can't kill anyone because you can't use it for evil. Okay, so that encompasses everything. It's pretty obvious. Now, I mean, most of us or all of us here tonight are not going to go out and start doing bad stuff. I mean, we're not like that. That's not what this is about. But I want to bring up another component to this, and that is that we tend to get controlled by guilt. We feel guilt. Oh, because there's a, maybe we're afraid. We're afraid we're going to use it for bad stuff. Okay? So I don't want you to be afraid of the dark side, because we've all got it. I'm not saying we're going to go there. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that most of us, and all of us rather, are not going to be tempted to do bad things. We want to do good things. We want to be the best that we can be. But I want to encourage you, because I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. People feel guilty. They feel guilty about making money. They feel guilty about 101 other things. There's a lot of bad stuff out there in the world. You just got to kind of be the best you can be in spite of that. And you know, you got to shine gloriously in whatever's going on. I just think it's really, really important. So you can't use it for evil. You got to respect free will. You know, the other condition, can't make somebody fall in love with you. That there's a bigger picture there, and that means you cannot to take someone freedom away, and yours too. You got to respect your own freedom in this. You know, it's very, very important. So if somebody's trampling all over yours, it's not good. If you're getting enmeshed, not good. Okay. Now the system that I'm going to bring to you guys is going to help you sort of recognize if you have issues in any of these areas. It's part of the journey, part of the imagination, part of the discovery, so that you can break free and at least start realizing where it is and what it is you need to do in order to progress beyond that box. Okay, so there was 3 wishes, and you can't wish for more wishes. That means you got to be committed. That's got a lot to do with maturity. Okay, because if you're a kid, you're just going to keep asking for wishes, and you're going to turn into a sloth. So it's important that if you have limitations, you've got to, so in other words, it means this. You got one life to live, choose wisely. Okay? But basically, when you look at the whole thing, it's like, wish for anything you want, following these conditions. And 3 wishes is pretty good. I mean, hell, give me 1. I mean, just 1, but imagine if you had 3. So when you look at goals and you sort of look at it this way, you understand it a little more philosophically. I think there's a lot of truth behind the Aladdin stories. So I'm going to give you some quick strategies. Then I'm going to show you the actual forms. I'm going to give you a link where you can download those forms. Okay, so some of the strategies, I'm going to breeze through these really, really quick for you. Always plan for 5 years, 1 year, and 1 month. This is really, really important. You want to write them down. So just don't think about it. You want to write it down all the time. You want to meditate and visualize. That's part and parcel of being able to just calm down and use your imagination and see it. The more you can see where it is you want to go, the more you can feel it and really get a good, strong sensation of what it is you want to achieve, the faster, the quicker it's going to happen in your life. So improve yourself. So a lot of goals are based on improving yourself. That's just a given. Realize small goals. Create a dream list, and I'm going to show you all the strategies momentarily. I'm getting there. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Create your personal definition of success. This is important, that you want, you really know what it is in your heart of hearts, what it is that you're going to, why you're doing what you're doing, why it is you want to do what you do. Have a purpose. When you have a purposeful life, it's a good life. It gives you that reason to get up and bounce out of bed in the morning and with a big smile, and you just feel like, yes, today is a great day. List the internal reasons why you are pursuing these goals. It's good to have good personal reasons. That's why I'm a big believer that you can't really get them on the outside. They're not external. They're not beyond you. They're within you. Put emphasis on a few long-term goals. Write out a contract with yourself. Define your fears, what's holding you back. You want to set realistic goals. Find a mentor for each area if you can. Be open, be flexible, and be ready. Be productive with your time. You want to do what counts. You want to delegate the rest. And I'll show you why that's important in the goal forms that I'm going to show you momentarily. Use your subconscious mind. So I'm going to ask you a few questions in a minute. And these are questions that you want to ask yourself whenever you're not 100% clear. Or maybe you are clear, but you just want to be extra clear. I'm not sure. Maybe you're totally not clear at all. Maybe you're totally muddy on an issue. That's okay. The worst thing to do is to say, I don't know. What you do say, you ask yourself, how can I? And that's using your subconscious mind. How can I? Where do I need to go with this? What do I need to do to grow my photography business? What do I need to do to master lighting? What do I need to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've tried this and used this strategy in my life. I've had great, great results. Affirmations are really important, very, very powerful. Everybody knows about affirmations. Ask yourself some questions. Here's 3 quick questions for you. What skills do I need to achieve this goal? So if you have a particular goal, ask yourself, what skills do I need to achieve this goal? Do I have all the knowledge and information required? This is practical. If not, who do I talk to? And where should I go? This is important. So if you have a goal, you ask yourself these 3 questions, you're going to do yourself a huge favor. What skills do I need to achieve this goal? Do I have all the knowledge and information required? If not, who do I talk to? Where should I go? Make your goals flexible, plan to make changes along the way. This is important too, because some people have told me, I don't know what I want. I'm afraid to commit. And that's nothing more. They want to get it perfect. Perfectionism is evil. It's absolutely evil. It's the scourge of productivity and progress and becoming the best that you can be. It's nothing more than an excuse, and excuses are nothing more than cover-ups for fear. So good thing is you get to change your goals. If you make a goal and a month later you realize, I'm going to change it, that's okay. No guilt. Change it. It's gone. New goal. Take it out. New goal in place. It's all fine. Don't feel guilty about it. Be prosperous. Be open to prosperity. This is a big one. A lot of people get guilty about making money. And the goals that I'm going to talk about are not all about money. Money is only a part of it. So get coached is another one as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Okay, so there's 2 forms that you want to use. We're going to go through those forms right now for you, okay? And I'm going to show you where to go get them. Here they are. I'm going to put it actually in the, can you guys see the chat box over there? I'm going to throw it right out there. I want you guys to download this. Can you see that in the chat box? Yeah, I want you guys to download that. Put it on your computer. And then I want you to print them out. Maybe not right away, but print them out. You have them forever. Those are powerful tools. If they just sit there, they're going to get full of spider webs, cobwebs, and they're going to be useless to you. So if you actually get out there and print them out and do the work that I'm about to show you, you're going to see some results in your life. So let me show you what those goals are, those goals forms. So the essentials on the top here, there's essentials. Okay. Some of you might be familiar with these. I've had some of you guys in my coaching program fill this out. And I'm incorporating these again, and I'm incorporating some new monthly ones, which I'm going to show you in a second. But right now I want to go through the essentials forms. On the top right here, I said, don't put it off. Okay? So, critical issues. This is important. I did this 15 years ago when I was being coached by an executive coach. Unbelievable results. What are the 10 most critical issues in your life right now? Be honest. Write them out. Don't think. You don't necessarily have to do it right at this moment. If you're multi-skilled and you're able to focus on this webinar and do it at the same time. You've already got it printed out, power to you, but just soak it in what I'm trying to tell you. Make notes, emphasize the do it now factor, okay? I mean, do it. I mean, don't let it sit in the corner and get full of dust. Okay, you got to write out 10 issues in your business or life. It could be money, it could be debt, could be weight, could be having addictions. You could have relationship problems. Write them all out there. So you want to drag it out into the light of day. Look at those 10 issues. Circle the 5 most important ones. It says here now make 5 quick goals. Don't worry about that too much. Just put the 5. You know, there's 5 key ones that you're going to look at right away. Just write them out, and that's going to give you some seriously good mojo when it comes to insight onto your life. Okay, 5 years, again, a really powerful tool. They did this one in 2000 or 1999, I'm not sure, around there. I did this because I was being coached by the same guy. And you fill your name, put the year. In 5 years from now, you put the year, not now, and you put the age you're going to be in 5 years, how old your spouse will be if you're married, your children. It's really cool when you look at you're going to be, wow, holy crap, I'm going to be 61 years old, or whatever age you are. And make a description, what your life will be like, what your health will be like. Describe your weight, your energy level, courses or skills achieved, money, personal traits that are improved, new habits, etc., etc. So I did this not necessarily in the 5-year scheme of things, but when I first got married in 1995 and my wife and I started working together, I immediately got into goal setting mode, and I said, okay, what are we going to be making next year? Because money was important. She was quitting her job as an accountant, and we had a baby on the way, so we had a mortgage to pay and all that stuff. So and it was amazing. I exceeded every single goal. It was absolutely amazing. So ask yourself what needs to happen between now and then to make this a reality. So when you look at 5 years, include where you will be living, working, your house, your friends, your time, your yearly income. You notice I bolded that one. Daily activities, daily work regimen, clothes, travel, toys, cars, dreams, hopes, ambitions, special fantasies, exotic trips, what you will be doing to earn the income you will be earning, etc., etc. So have fun with this. If you're married, by the way, and your spouse is on board with this, this is a really, really good thing to do. I've done this with my wife and with my daughter. I started her when she was about 7 or 6 years old, and she's right into this. So when you talk about special fantasies, it's not a sexual thing. Well, if that's what you're into. But you know, one of my goals is to go scuba diving at Coco Islands off Costa Rica with the schools of hammerhead sharks. That's one of my goals. That's one of my special exotic trips that I have planned. So that kind of thing, you know, and that would scary or what, I'm telling you, but I'm on for it, and I'm going to be doing that. So write it out, list it out, and this is important too. This is where you're going to have, by the way, this essentials form you're looking at, you do it once a year. Do it more if you want, but you only need to do it once a year. So you look at a love list. So here's how you do your love list. So you fill out your name, print this out, and get your friend, your spouse, whomever, to ask you the question. You sit down at the table, you put a timer on, 10 minutes, you go, okay, what do you love? What do you love? What do you love? Get them to ask you over and over and over again, what do you love? And you're not allowed to overthink on this one. Okay, so you're going to feel obligated, well, I love my mom, right? So that's like an obligation thing because there's that social pressure. There is no pressure in this. You just have fun with it. You're supposed to use your imagination. You're supposed to get into your deeper, deeper self. So include everything. Do you love singing, bath, travel, motorcycling, hiking, photographs, of course, marketing, friends, family, on and on. Do not hold back, judge, or censor anything. No, it does not need to be in any order. Ask yourself or have a close friend ask you, what do you love? This is going to give you some content. Very, very important. All right, more content. It's important to have this done. This is a big step, and it's getting a little bit thick and tricky now because we're on to page 6 here, cleaning shop. You'll see how some of this stuff is going to segue into the monthly goals. The monthly goals is not this intensive. It's much, much easier, but it's important to do this. When you look at your messes in your life, both physical and spiritual and emotional, they do two things. They give you the opportunity to have goals based on cleaning those messes up. And when you do, secondly, you end up with a much more open life, and opportunity opens up. Oftentimes, little messes, medium messes, and big messes are really nothing more than roadblocks. And I'm talking about everything, guys. I'm talking about if you have too many keys on your keychain. I'm talking about if you have too many clothes in your closet, or if your garage is congested from one end to the next. If you happen to come into my city, like sometimes photographers are breezing through town or whatever, they come up and see me, the first thing I look at is their car. And I'm telling you, if their car is a mess, I get on their case. You can ask Brian from Timmins, who came by a few years ago. I just would not relent. I relentlessly got on his case about how dirty his car was. You know, coffee cups, pizza boxes. There's no excuse for that. So physical messes are important. Your closet, your mind, your consciousness. Look at ways to pursue opportunities to clean up messes. So just write them out. You don't have to share this with anybody. Sometimes it gets a little personal. That's okay. As long as you've written it out and you're aware of it, you've started it. This is important too. Inventory, skills and talents. List all your skills and talents, even if you think they are small and meaningless. Now, I want to give you guys a special trick here. I did this last winter. I had 5, 6, 7, or 8 friends, I'm not sure, people I trusted, and I knew they'd be honest with me. And I asked them to tell me what my special strengths were. I didn't ask them what my weaknesses were. I just said, what do you think my strengths were? I didn't want to know my weaknesses. I like staying in denial. No, I'm joking. But no, when you have somebody who's close to you that you trust, and they list you, they tell you, in their opinion, and it's amazing that people, they were very open and eager, and it was fast and easy for them to just say, yeah, Rob, you're really good at this, you're really good at that, and you do this well, and you do that well. And it's so affirming, and it's good to recognize your skills and your talents and what things you're good at. Now, don't underestimate the small ones. Put them all in there. You can also write down the ones that you think you have or you would like to have. So maybe you want to be a marketing guru, but you're not. Or maybe you want to be a really good public speaker, but you're not. Put it down. You know, if you have the urge, it counts. The urge counts. Assets and finances. This is another important area too. List all your assets, cash, real estate, stocks, equipment, etc. It's good to know where you are financially and on the asset ledger. Character traits, I talked about that a second ago. What are you like? What kind of a person are you? Ask a close friend who will be open and honest and get some information and insight on who you are. And this is important too. Gratitude. List everything you're grateful for. Health, people, talents, clients, country, home, whatever. When you feel and express gratitude, you open up to more opportunities. So I'm a big believer in gratitude. You know, I'm always sending out thank you cards. You know, the computer guy works on my computer. I send him a thank you card. I mean, why? Because, well, I'm grateful. I mean, the guy pulled me out of a real pickle. But I do that kind of stuff all the time. And, you know, it's like, I don't necessarily do it to expand my business, but that kind of happens as a bonus, by the way. But it just blows people away. It's like nobody gives them a freaking thank you card. You know what I mean? Do it for your mechanic, your hairstylist, whomever. And it puts you in a good state of mind, and it puts them in a wonderful, receptive state of mind too. All right, so that's the essentials. Okay, you get to do that once a year or more if you want. Now, every month, you want to print this out. It's only 2 pages long. Okay, this is important. Goals, magic, measurable monthly progress. Put your name, today's date, and the last date of that month. So put down, in general, desires, directions, or changes I want in my life. Just list 3 quick ones. It doesn't matter. You know, remember we did the essentials. You know, we had the 5-year thing. We had the list of loves. We had the top 10 issues, narrowed down to 5. I mean, you might want to draw from those. Just put them in there. Could be small ones, big ones. So there's 6 categories that you're going to fill out every month, your goals. The first three are mess, gratitude, increase in wealth. Really, really simple, guys. This is really simple. So break down your mess goal. And if you're stuck, go back here. You've already listed some messes, right? If you've done your homework. So if you're stuck, go through there and go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. And then put it down. So put down a mess that you want to tackle that month. And then by the following date, which typically is the last day, or you might do it sooner, and you break it down into 3 measurable levels. So there's minimum, target, and outrageous. The minimum is going to be the wimpy version of that goal. So let's say you want to get an increase of $5,000 in sales on top of last year from a particular area of photography that you're already established in, and it could be upsells. For me, maybe it might be like Fairy Day. We do Fairy Day coming up next month. We did really well last round of Fairy Day. So maybe I know there's a problem with selling, and I want to be able to tackle the sales process. It's a real mess. Or maybe it's a physical mess. Maybe it's my garage and I'm just looking at it and going, oh, when am I going to get to that? Put it down there. So the minimum might be, okay, I'm going to put everything in boxes. That's pretty easy. Target is I'm going to put everything in boxes and put it in storage. I'm going to clean up the garage so I can put the car in there. The outrageous is I'm going to have the garage completely cleaned out, everything out of there in storage, shelves built, painted, new light fixtures, and it's totally outrageous, by the way. When you get into the outrageous, don't just go nuts. Your target is the main one that you want to achieve. This is important that you understand that the target is the key one. You want to make it reasonably achievable, but you're going to be stretched a little bit. The outrageous is going to be totally outrageous. It's like, nah, you can never do that. You'd be surprised how it happens. But this is where your imagination kicks in. So maybe you hit your target in a little bit of outrageous so that you can get your mindset. It's all about getting your mindset into proper state of mind so that you're continuously into that goal-setting universe. So every month, mess, minimum, target, outrageous. Okay, so you give yourself points. You give yourself a point, 1 for recording the goal. If you've achieved minimum, you get 2 points, target 3 points, outrageous 4 points. And then if you delegate it, you get everything delegated. Delegation is very, very important because it allows you and helps you to get out of doing the grunt work. Now, I know this is not always possible, so don't worry about it too much. If you're having a hard time delegating for whatever reason, don't stress out about it if you've got to do it all yourself for now. But the goal is to eventually be able to do the stuff you love and have somebody else do the stuff that they love and would love to do for you for a fee. You know, I hate mowing the lawn. I haven't mowed my lawn. My last house I had for 9 years. Not once did I mow the lawn, and we had a big ass lawn. I hired people. I just, yuck. I couldn't do it, and I never shoveled a driveway either. Anyways, I know some guys like doing that, not me. So give yourself some credit for delegating it. And so you put in there, to help me, I will ask the following person or company, blah, 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 to provide the following specific service for me. Okay, and give yourself a total point for that particular goal. And you do the same thing for, hold on, let me get my pen here. You want to get your gratitude down. I will acknowledge the following person or group for, by the following date, by breaking it into 3 measurable goals. Same thing, minimum, target, outrageous. So maybe you want to recognize your spouse just randomly. You're just really feeling lots of gratitude for your spouse. So you come up to them, you give them a big fat kiss and hug, you say, thank you, I love you, I appreciate everything you do. That's a minimum, easy to do. Target would be you're going to buy them a gift and do something special for them, and outrageous is you're going to take them and fly them to Paris. Okay, you just totally go nuts. Increase in wealth. I will increase my wealth by taking the following action, by the following date, by breaking it into 3 measurable goals. Minimum, target, outrageous, same thing. So you want to increase your wealth. By the way, I'm going to give you a few more strategies in a minute. Let me get through this here. So I'm going to break this down just to give you more food for thought. I hope you guys are taking notes, just making even like little notes and kind of like key key areas here. So you want to do something new, a new challenge every month by the following date, minimum, target, outrageous, and you want to learn something. So every month you want to be learning, always learning something new every month. Same thing, I'll learn something new, blah, blah, by the following. It could be Photoshop, a new lighting strategy, a new marketing technique. So if it's Photoshop, the minimum is I'm going to go buy XYZ's Photoshop tutorial. Target is I'm going to buy that one plus 2 others, and I'll have them all listened to. Third one is I've hired Jerry Gionis to come to my studio for a week, and he's going to give me one-on-one coaching. Something crazy. It's outrageous for me. So yeah, do that. There you go. You learn and yourself. So when you do something for yourself every month is a very personal thing. You might go for a massage. You might go on a little trip. You might buy yourself some new clothes. It doesn't matter. Do something special for yourself. So what you do when you print these out every month, you give yourself a total them all up, and you got it down here. And there's a rating system. Now, don't forget to sign it, Don't feel silly about this. Put your signature in there. Rate your progress every month, and you can give scale. Give yourself a scale. Put yourself in a scale. If you get 30 plus, you're just rocking it, man. You're just totally crushing it. 45 plus is epic results, unheard of. So if you're in the 7 to 29 range, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty damn good. You do that month after month after month. You keep at it with enough discipline and enough fortitude and focus. You're gonna be totally crushing it. Let me give you some tips on doing goals. Okay. Like I said, you write your name down, give yourself a deadline, that's all done. Measurable by 2. Your goals have to be measurable by 2. So I have to look at it and say, yeah, that's my goal, but my spouse or my friends got to look at it and go, yeah, I see it. If they can't understand it, then it's not measurable by 2. So you want total clarity. You don't want any ors. So, I'm going to buy a new car, or no, I'm going to buy a new camera or new lens. Be specific. No ends. I'm going to buy a new camera and a new lens. I mean, those are 2 separate goals. Results, not formulas. So you never say, I'm going to go on a weight loss program. So no, I'm going to lose X amount of weight. Focus on the end result. I will have. Always say I will have. Make them your goals. They're not someone else's goals. This is, it's not. You're not going to have a goal for your spouse or your kids. It doesn't work that way. It's all about free will. Remember. Be positive. Pretty obvious. Valid frequency, so you got to be able to do it over and over and over again. Stretch yourself. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself. That's really, really important. That's why these goal setting strategies that I have here are based on the minimum, target, and maximum outrageous. So you want to stretch yourself. Be reasonable. Pretty obvious. When you look at the goals for mess, look at your car, your closet, your clothing, your debt, your computer, your desktop, your files, your taxes, your personal issues, personal surroundings. Hold on here. I got to get my thing. Relationship, your shed, your garage. So look at all that. I'm just giving you ideas here. I hope I'm not going too fast in case you're actually writing these down. Gratitude, look at your children, your spouse, obviously, your parents, your employee, employer, clients is an obvious one, co-workers, service provider, committees, if you're on a committee, partners, favor received by anyone. Prosperity, if you reduce a debt, that counts for wealth, so reducing debt's important. It's hard for a lot of people to do that, by the way. Debt's really, really, really bad. Credit card debt especially. So I've got a whole webinar on that that's in the forum that I talked about. I'm a big believer in, staying out of debt, especially bad debt. Have a financial plan. So, even calling a financial planner and saying, can I come in and have a consultation? That's a good goal. Investing, starting an investing program, getting more clients is prosperous. Doing networking, getting out there in your community. Raising your fees or prices are all wealth management strategies. Getting into real estate, mutual funds, whatever, new sales generated. If you have an improvement on your referral system, If you have savings that you're going to start a savings program, stocks, mortgaging, selling something. So if you got something sitting around, you're not using it, sell the darn thing. Wealth attraction principles, there's a lot more to that. Again, I have a whole webinar on that in the No BS forum. If you're a member of No BS and you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's pretty good, if I say so myself. Personal challenge for growth, new skill, read a book, new people, new challenges, climbing, speaking, lighting, Photoshop, etc. New software, if you want to travel somewhere for personal challenge or growth, new language, a new hobby, a new sport, a new piece of equipment, a special event you want to attend, if you want to eliminate addictions. By the way, I would dare say that if you have any kind of addiction, that should be the number one thing that you out to tackle. It's probably equivalent to a 10-foot concrete wall between you and your goals. Exercise, role models, marketing. So just some ideas for you there. Let me get back to over here and continue on. Okay. So you've got some forms. I hope you've downloaded them. And I'm going to give you some ideas on how you can get coached. You could start your own mastermind in your own area. Easy to do. And I would use these forms if I were you. And you get together and make it a firm commitment to do these forms every month. It's really, really cool when you're not alone. It's really hard to do unless you're super disciplined. You know, a lot of people, we didn't have the fortunate circumstances of, say, having, you know, Donald Trump for our father or somebody like that who's super disciplined and able to, you know, kick our butt through life and say, you got to do this. So we got to get out there. We got to get beyond our circle and find ways with which to find accountability, bring accountability into our lives. You can go on a forum. NoBSPhotoSuccess.com is a forum, and there's, you know, threads that can be started in or started where you put stuff out there and you go, this is my goal. This is what I'm going to choose to do. When you're in a group of like-minded people who have that success mentality, it's the same thing, but it's online. No BS Photo Success is an online forum. I mean, there's a lot of other forums out there too. I mean, Sandy Pudge has a wonderful one and whatnot. So I'm a little biased. My new No BS Photo Success is mine, and I believe it's got a certain culture to it. No nonsense, but really, really valid insofar as producing results based on real world. Now, if you really want to ramp it up, there's the Wizard of Light coaching program that I've got. It's a little more expensive. It's like, you know, $47 a month right now. It's going up to $97 a month. And we've got a few people that are on that are with us tonight. And Alicia is the co-presenter with me on that, and she's going to be joining me. See, my thing is, you have to go to the website to read about it to see what's included. I'm not going to go through that now and put on the big sales pitch. I just want you to know that there's a process where we're going to have monthly calls based on goal setting, making sure that you are accountable. So when you're accountable, you get them done. And then when issues come up and you need support, you need the right people to talk to, that's what we're there for. So that's the idea behind the coaching program. So if you're interested in that, go to thewizardoflight.com/coaching. And you want to break free. Most of the limits we have are self-imposed, if not all the limits. When you step beyond the known into the unknown, you step into the realm of possibilities. Key points to remember. It's your journey or it's somebody else's. It's either or. It's yours or somebody else's. So if you sit back and you're just going to be happy doing nothing, then you're just going to be passive, a passive consumer, and then it's somebody else's journey, the person who's running the TV commercials. It takes discipline to face fear and grow. Imagination plus courage equals adventure, your adventure. Joseph Campbell called it the call to adventure, the journey of the hero that we all have. We all have this journey, that there's a point in our life when the curtain rises and our journey, our challenge is revealed to us. It's called the call to adventure. So we have to take up the call or turn our backs on it and let the curtain drop. So one of the best fundamentals is accountability to an outside, non-personal, neutral agency. And that's why I believe coaching is really, really important. It's why I personally invested a lot of time and money in my own coaching. To this day, I still do. I'm part of 2 online marketing coaching programs, as well as a one-on-one coaching that I'm involved with right now. I'm just a big believer, because to me it's a smart investment. So, but let me just expand upon this idea a little bit more. One of the best fundamentals is accountability to an outside, non-personal, neutral agency. Outside, non-personal, neutral agency. That's somebody outside of you who is not enmeshed or is not too well known to you, because you will not get the proper advice, kick in the butt, or direction that you need. When I want to, years ago I signed up for karate. Let me give you a karate example. And I went to the dojo and I thought, oh, this is really cool. I'm loving this. I just show up. If I just show up and do the work, all I got to do is do the work. And I love it, by the way. And I just turn my mind off and focus on that alone and listen to the sensei. The sensei is the master, right? I'm not going to go read a book on karate. That would be stupid. I could if I wanted to, right? But that's relying on myself. If I rely on myself, I'm probably the worst person to rely on. So the non-personal neutral agency in that instance would be the sensei. I just show up. I listen to the sensei. So I wouldn't go to my aunt Esther, for my 75-year-old Aunt Esther, and say, teach me about karate. What does she know? She has opinions. All my friends will have opinions, but they're not masters. So you want to talk to a master and somebody who's neutral. This is my old house. I sold it last January. I told this story. I've told it many times in live events. And the reason I tell this story, because it really represents the power of coaching. I did that 5-year goal setting thing in 99 or 2000, and then I forgot about it. Or maybe I did it around 2002, somewhere around there. I can't remember. I bought this house in 2006, and I was in my basement where I had my office, and I opened up my drawer, and I found my 5-year coaching, my 5-year plan, which had been over 5 years. And in that list, remember the 5-year thing I showed you earlier? In that list that I had printed out and filled up, and I forgot about it, and it was in the bottom of my drawer, it said, I will, in 5 years, which at that time was 2006, I will be, whatever year, I'll be 48, whatever. I'll be living in a home studio not too far from the city, not too close. It'll be 3,000 square foot with cathedral ceilings, all wood, with an awesome studio in the back. So when you know it, I'm reading this, and I'm literally, my jaw drops down to my knees, and I got chills up and down my spine. Now, this kind of stuff's happened to me multiple times. This is not a one-off event. It's happened to me many, many times with cameras, cars, and all kinds of events. And I just was blown away by this one in particular, because here I was living in the actual home, which, by the way, was 3,000 square feet. And by the way, all wood, as you can tell, cedar. Now, you can see on the roof, by the way, there's new tiles going in, so that we had to, do that. But I wouldn't get a cedar home anymore. I'm over cedar. But my point is, at the time, that's what I wanted. I love wood. And do you know where it's located? I didn't say I wanted to be in the south end, east end, west, or north. I just said I wanted to be not too far from the city, but not too close. And that's exactly where this place is located. I can walk out my driveway. And by the way, I didn't say it's going to be paved. I forgot that part. And I could throw a ball and literally hit the city limits. And there's a nice little neighborhood around there. Alicia, we've had bears right there and here walking into the yard and through multiple times. And we hear coyotes at night and a whole bunch of other critters and foxes. So it was really kind of cool to be not too far from the city, but not too close either. So that's just one of the goals that has happened to me many, and amongst many other goals. So right now, my wife and I, we have a place in Costa Rica, and that's where we're going with our life. We're still running a photography business. We're very, 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 very busy. I'm crazy busy. I don't have a studio anymore. We live in an apartment because our place now is in Costa Rica, where we spend 3 months out of the winter. So I designed my life according to how I want it. And it didn't just happen. I worked at it. You got to make the money. You got to have the health. You have to have the right mindset. And you have to, in my opinion, do the goals, do the coaching business, and work at it, because it's not going to just happen to you passively. It doesn't happen passively. It never happens passively. And it's scary as hell. I told you that earlier, but that's part of the journey. Without the fear, you wouldn't get the progress. You know, darkness, light. The two work hand in hand. They're polar opposites. So, oh, there I am last year. I ran in a 5-mile road race in my running sandals. I love running sandals in Nova Scotia. I take my motorcycle there every summer, and I run that road race. I do a lot of cool things. You know, life is really, really good. So, Alicia, you have some stuff you want to say? You want to chime in on this? If anybody has any questions, by the way, this is a really good time to bring them up. Alicia had no idea what I was going to present tonight. I had no idea how it was going to long it was going to last. I wanted to keep it to an hour, so we're rolling around the hour now. I don't know if I've given you guys some food for thought and some forms that are useful for you to apply in your life if you put the work into it. And if you follow up on it by either creating your own mastermind or get coached by us. If you get coached by us, by the way, it's both Alicia and I who are going to be working on this. I know some of you guys are already in the Wizard of Light coaching program, so don't worry about it. You guys are in there. Send out emails, and we're going to ramp up this component as far as the goal setting is concerned on a monthly basis. So, any questions?
I'd have to say there that goal setting is so important. I do it myself every year. We were talking about it before.
Yeah.
And I actually write my goals down in the notes section on my phone, so as I can go back to those all the time and just see how I'm travelling. And it's just a visual reminder too of stuff that you might have thought about 9 months ago and you might have forgotten about it along the way. But I've done that throughout, the whole building of my business and getting to where I'm at. I set those goals, and whether it be financial or personal or whatever the case may be, if you've got that, and written it down, that's the important thing, is to write it down. And measure as you go. You have to measure as you go and say, right, so how close are we? If you've got, say, your financial goal for your business is to earn, let's say at $60,000, you want to turn over $60,000 for the year. Okay, so break that down into chunks. That's going to be $5,000 a month. And when you break it down like that, even if you're aiming at $100,000, you're looking at $8,333 a month. That doesn't seem overwhelming, if you're looking at 8,300 rather than thinking about, 100,000. But if you consistently put together an aim for 8,300 for your month, there's going to be months where you do better than that. There's going to be months where you're a little bit under, and then there's going to be months where you hit it. So at the end of the day, at the end of the 12 months, you're going to see that you've done $100,000 for the year, and that's, as you roll on, it becomes easier, whereas at the beginning, if you just look at it and go, hey, 100,000, no, that's too hard. It's not if you break it down into the chunks. So I think that's it. Your goal setting is so important in the evolution of you and your business and all the rest of it. And I think, too, you have to be prepared to think big. You can't... there's no point in thinking small. What's the point? I remember many years ago a woman said to me, I was talking about what I wanted to do, and I said, oh, I just want to take photos and, just make enough to get by, and that'll do, And she said to me, why are you thinking so small? And I didn't have an answer for that. I really, and it stuck with me, and I thought about it, and I went, well, hang on a second. What is the point of thinking small? Why just say, all right, well, this is my limit. This is what I want to do. This is what I think I deserve. And that's not the case at all. You've got to be able to think big. Don't limit yourself. And sometimes, it takes somebody to give you that bit of a boot up the rear end to make you realise that.
Well said. Stephen's asking a question, if there's any goal-setting software websites that can collect your goal-setting information or any special apps for your phone that help as well. I only use one little app, and it's kind of like a Post-it app. It's called Lino, Lino .it. No, I'm sorry. sorry. LINOIT.com. Lino it. It's like $8 a year or something like that. It's a Post-it. There's many Post-it apps that are out there, and I write down stuff so that it shows up on my phone, or it shows up on my tablet at home, or on my computer, and it's sort of on your desktop at your computer. So I have all these Post-its, and one's for ideas that I'm collecting for, like, for example, I have one called webinars. I'm always doing webinars, and people I'm going to contact to do webinars. Another one would be just to do, and then another one is my goals. I put my goals in there. Very similar to what Alicia was just talking about, but I don't really think it's important that you rely on too much technology versus printing out those forms. I got to really stress the importance of printing it out, picking up your pen and doing it by hand. There's something very, very powerful in that connection that happens between you and at the very deep depths of your DNA when you pick up a pen and you commit pen to paper. And you do the work. So I would advise you to sort of stay away from too much technology when it comes to setting your goals. April's asking, how do we find the NoBS mentoring program? Well, there's two programs I threw in there, nobsphotosuccess.com. You can join the forum. There's a lot of community coaching going on there, nobsphotosuccess.com. Just click on the Join Us link. And wizardoflight.com is the big one that Alicia and I are working on together. We're putting on the big push to get people involved. It's going to be going up to literally double in price. So right now it's only $47 a month. Oh, by the way, when you join Wizard of Light, you automatically get no BS's. It's included, no charge. Not to mention the tons of resources, which I'm not even going to mention right now because there's so much. Go read it if you're interested in that. If you have any questions, send me an email too. Phil is saying, thank you, most excellent. Thank you, Phil. Jesse's saying, we are in the coaching program and we make the monthly goals. Do you check in to make sure you are doing it, or do we post? This is our make it or break it year. Being accountable to someone will be big for us. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to ramp up the strategy calls and the goal setting calls. Plus you can also, people coaching students and whatnot are allowed to have a Skype call with me or a GoToMeeting call. I have all the, I have the GoToMeeting software available to me, and I schedule regular meetings with coaching clients. Typically 20 minutes is all you need. And, I grab your feet and I hold them to the fire. And just like Alicia said, why, that's what happened to you, right? Alicia was like, why are you thinking so small?
Absolutely.
I'll do something like that. She'll do something like that. By the way, Alicia is a really, I love Alicia for her attitude and her ability to call it the way she sees it. It's really refreshing. She doesn't beat around the bush, and she can make it easy to take because she's funny. You can kick somebody's ass and make them laugh and enjoy the ride. So,
well, I want them to thank me for kicking their ass at the end of it. It's you can't put. Sometimes the sugar coating is what stops the message from getting through, I think.
Yeah.
And there's too much fluff these days. Everybody wants a feel-good moment, and as much as I'm not going to, I certainly don't make people feel inadequate or any of that sort of stuff. That's not what I'm about. I'm about making, finding ways to help you improve and educating yourself and becoming more confident within your business dealings and so forth and what you do. So,
yeah,
someone to hold your hand, but also to, hold your hand and kick your butt whilst I'm holding it. So.
All right, that's the big question. Like, why are you thinking so small? That's a good question. That's a really good example. A question I like to ask too is what's, if somebody says this is what I want to do, I'll ask them. I'll say, okay, fine. What is stopping you from achieving that? What's in the way? Now we bring that to light. Now we got a goal. Makes sense? So once you find out what the objections are or what the barriers are, you now have a goal. something you can tackle. So it's a good process, and it works that way. So I put
And
it
a
up.
lot of the time when you ask people those questions, it's all about external things as well. And you have to, once you have some self-belief, if you can do this. I see people, talk to people that have got, they're kicking off in their photography business or whatever, and they're like, oh, I can't do this because people will think that I'm, whatever, or I haven't got the education, or I didn't, I'm from this part of town, which means I can't be successful, or I can't be that successful. Well, get out of your own way and have some, believe in what you're doing, and when you believe in what you're doing and believe in yourself, then, that's when the world opens up to you. You've got to get outside your comfort zone, because right here where it's nice and safe and tidy and everything's good, you don't have to grow. You can just keep being exactly as you are. But once you open that out, that's where the glory is. That's where you want to get to, is outside your comfort zone. So every time you're scared, be happy about being scared. I'm scared every day. There's always something that I do that I go, oh my God, oh my God. But the best thing you can do is be scared, but do it anyway. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I put in my opinion, the 3 ways to get coached. You can start your own mastermind, apply the same strategies, or jump on board with us. wizardoflight.com/coaching. Check it out. So, yeah, and it's a process I'm a firm believer in, having 25 plus years now. My life really changed in 1991 when I quit drinking and smoking. A lot of people know that story. And, I was doing remember Tony Robbins, 30 Days to Personal Power. I took that in November. I bought it for myself as a Christmas gift. It was very expensive, and I was less like, I'm doing this. I'm paid all this money. I'm doing the damn work. And I did. I got up early every morning. I did the work, and it was all based on goal setting. And I quit everything in my life January 6, 1991. I quit drinking, quit smoking, and turned my life around. I was struggling with booze. I'll admit to that. A lot of people who know me know that, and it's not a big to-do. It was the best thing I ever did in my life, and my whole life opened up for me. So since then, my whole view on goal setting and pushing myself forward, it's so close to me, such a big part of me. So I encourage you to consider joining us, and if you have any questions, fire them off to us, and feel free. And for those of you who are already members, you're going to get an email out with the next strategy call. It's going to be coming up very, very soon. Know that you can also send me a personal email, and you can set up a private one-on-one. So that's always a possibility. So I think I'm done. What do you think, Alicia? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy. That was great. Hopefully you guys have got I've downloaded those worksheets. I'm going to do them, and be great to hear from some of you about your results, from setting your 1-month goal and your 12-month goal and so forth. I'm pretty sure that if you do it and you're consistent with it, you'll certainly see results from it. Absolutely.
All right, guys, so send me an email if you're interested, or if you have any questions, or just go sign up, or, start your own mastermind. I just encourage you to follow the same path. And Ron's asking where you can get the downloads. Go in your chat box. It's right there. Can you guys all see that, by the way? Chat box. Look at the chat box. And go click on the 2 links I put in there. So can you see them, Ron? Chat box. All right, I tell you what, send me an email, rob@wizardoflight.com. I'll send you a personal email with the links right in there. If anybody did not get those forms, rob@wizardoflight.com, and I'll send it to you. All right? Cool. Thanks, Alicia. Have yourself a great day. It's Tomorrowland in Australia. It's Monday night here. It's Tuesday morning there. I love technology, man. I love the ability to communicate around the world like this instantly. It just blows me away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today.
I really appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon, Alicia, and everyone else will see you online. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you.